becoming more and more manifest, and yet more and more inexplicable as time goes on. The key words to the mystery are flying saucers, or as the United States Air Force calls them, UFOs, UFOs, unidentified flying objects. And the mystery itself is, what are they? Tonight we're going to attempt to find out as we speak with Edward J. Ruppelt, former head of the United States Air Force Project Ruppelt, investigating flying saucers and author of the recently published book, The Report on Unidentified Flying Objects. Mr. Ruppelt, you headed up the official Air Force investigation of these strange objects in the sky for 2 years, during which time you created the term UFO. For purposes of clarification, would you explain the meaning of UFO as the Air Force understands it, and how, if at all, it differs from the public conception of the phrase flying saucers?
The term UFO to the Air Force means anything that's in the sky that cannot be immediately identified as something that is known. I think for most people, the general public, the term flying saucer again actually disc-shaped objects. This is sort of a misnomer because only 5% of our reports go actually disc-shaped objects.
I see. Well, when was the first of these UFOs sighted in this country, Mr. Ruppelt, and under what circumstances?
The first UFO, was called the first official UFO, was reported on late in the afternoon of June 24th, 1947, when a gentleman named Kenneth Arnold was flying his private plane near Mount Rainier in the state of Washington. He saw 9 objects flying along by the mountain, and when he landed, he talked to a newspaper man, and he described them as saucers, skipping in soft wire, hence the name flying saucers. There has been other reports that people dug them out as far back as out of the Bible. However, we've looked at these, and they don't have all the aspects of the present-day flying saucers.
Is there anything seasonal about these reports, Mr. Ruppelt?
Yes, sir. The plot of the frequency of these reports shows a rather interesting peak every July. This is except in 1953. We tried to correlate information against these peaks, liquor consumption, from foods, planets, tides, and phases of the moon, weather, various things like that, and we're never able to explain why these reports reach peaks in July and also show a minor peak just before Christmas.
So now, could you describe some of the typical ways in which these UFOs have been sighted?
Some of your best reports are ones where there's been some verification of what the people have seen. One of the more famous of these reports was a low flight where 4 college professors went to great odds to try to determine what they were looking at. Their efforts paid off because later on a person was able to show these were natural phenomena. Some of our better unknowns, of course, are from the military, where radar has picked something up and pilots have gone up and confirmed it. In many cases, the mere fact that they did check on this very closely led to an answer. However, in other cases, checks that the people went through proved that they couldn't come up with an answer, and added a lot more weight to the report, and led many people to believe that these were interplanetary spaceships.
Well, now, would you describe some of these possible natural explanations?
Yes. We were very familiar with all natural explanations. As far back as 1948, a report was written dealing with light being refracted through an inversion light. During the war with West Texas, I, on several occasions, just see car headlights in the air caused by the headlights of the car on the ground being refracted in the air. And in a couple cases, it's about slow rolling airplane trying to get out of the way. We know that turbulence behind a fast aircraft can reflect light like a mirror and give the illusion of a saucer case out that's following the airplane. I've seen that too. And then, of course, there's many other things, stars shining through haze, ice-shaped clouds, sundogs. All of these we're familiar to us and we're able to pick them out.
Actually, now, what about the school that holds that they are all meteors or balloons? And what is all they talk about a secret experimental saucer case and maybe aircraft being the culprit?
We did get a lot of reports of meteors as flying saucers or UFOs. However, we had a very competent astronomer who worked closely with meteor observers and checked these reports out. We also tracked balloons and daily had reports of their position. We were able to send these against UFO reports to find out if they were balloons.
Now, taking all these possible distinctly natural explanations into account, as Project Ruppelt did, in its exhaustive investigations, what percentage of the total sightings were you finally forced to set down as unknown? And could you describe a typical case?
Well, while I was in charge of Project Ruppelt, the unknowns ran about 15 to 20%. Now the Air Force are down to 5%. However, I have a little bit of doubt as to the way that they got these reports down to 5%. It's so unknown, we'll say. Might have been a report that we got from 2 Air Force colonels flying over Carson, Nevada, at B-25. They were flying along one afternoon, heading toward Denver. and all of a sudden they saw three objects ahead of them. They kept watch, thinking they might be CSA-6s, but suddenly these objects closed in. They got a good look at them, and they were just as triangular shaped wings. We checked every possible answer that we could think of. We checked jets, meteors, aircraft, and we even checked the kernels, and we come up with absolutely nothing. Just zeroed off as an unknown. Well, now, your book mentions an interesting series of investigations with radar and radiation equipment that seems to indicate an unusual amount of radiation in the atmosphere during and shortly after the sighting of a UFO. Could you tell us a little more about this, Mr. Ruppelt? This is very definitely one of the most interesting cases we've had because of two things. Number one, the people involved were all very reputable scientists, and a good many of them were PhD physicists. Secondly, they recorded the data that they had. This gives a lot of weight to the report. Even though it was very good, like all UFO reports, caused an argument. These people that didn't think it was the right data said that they probably recorded weren't operating correctly. However, in this case, that was a rather huge because we had 5 recorders all operating simultaneously, and it would be rather a small chance that they would all 5 periodically go bad at the same second.
Now, in recent years, a number of authorities, self-styled and otherwise, have accused the Air Force of a gigantic cover-up operation, indicating that they knew much more than they were letting on to the public. Is there any truth in this, Mr. Ruppelt? And just what, to your knowledge, is the Air Force's position in this matter?
Well, this talk of a cover-up is absurd when it intimates that the Air Force has proof that the reported UFOs are interplanetary spacecraft. There is, however, a policy of not talking about UFOs in the Air Force or releasing any data. But I'm firmly convinced that this is the cause of 3 reasons. Number one, a good many event UFO reports that they say have been solved can't stand a very close examination. Number two, when the Air Force has admitted over the past few years that they do have reports that can't be explained, a few rather vocal and disreputable people have worked these reports completely out of context. And last but not least, the Air Force seems to believe now that if you close your eyes, they'll go away.
Ruppelt, I think our audience would be very eager to learn, knowing your years of objective, authoritative work in the field, just what your own opinion on UFOs is.
Well, I personally don't think that anyone knows enough about the UFOs to draw any definite conclusion. Anything that I would have to say would only be an opinion, and since we're trying to be objective about it, my opinion would be any good.
Well, in other words, you don't want to comment.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ruppelt, for bringing us the factual story both true and calm behind one of the most exciting mysteries of our time, unidentified flying objects, or the flying saucers.